Ranting Ron here. I want to talk about this, obviously, Ricky Gervais and Russell Brand interview, God versus Atheism. And I've only watched about up to 42 minutes, and I respect these guys. I actually really like Russell Brand and Ricky Gervais. I don't know Russell Brand as much. I don't really see him. I don't watch his YouTube that much. But I like that he's become, I think, humbler in his life because he was very arrogant before and egotistical or whatever. And Ricky Gervais, he's an atheist. I'm a Christian. I like him because he's pretty nice about it all. And obviously he has the same talking points as any atheist, and he's a comedian and he's funny. And I religiously watch his shows. I actually like watching his stuff. I think he's a great guy in his humor. His Golden Globe stuff is awesome. Him hanging out with all of Jeffrey Epstein's friends. The guy's brilliant, and I really appreciate it. And these two guys obviously are more successful than I am in life, depending on how I want to grade that. Obviously more money and more likes and views and more of that kind of a thing. So definitely I hold them in, well, I don't hold them in the high regard in the sense of how God holds them. God holds them as fools. But I'm stupid. I'm stupid, but through God, I found my wisdom and joy. I'm successful in the sense of I have a loving wife. She's very successful in her career. I've got two daughters, 15 and 21. Both are still here. 21, she's at college. She went to the college I asked her to go to. She loves it there. She's accounting and does an internship at a tax accounting place, which is really cool. And we live here in Hollywood, and we have a really great life, and I'm very blessed. And I do whatever I want. So, that's why I'm doing these videos. I write books and just enjoy life, and we go to the Magic Castle and blah, blah, blah. And I just want to say about Ricky Gervais, I really, really like him. Like, he's probably one of my top guys. I enjoy watching his stuff, what he makes in the afterlife and watching that. Obviously, I disagree with pretty much everything he does, but I still enjoy him. I guess it's like a wonderful train wreck or something. I don't know, but I do respect him, and I really enjoyed this interview, what I've been listening to so far. And around 35, 36, they start talking about, loving animals and then atheism and stuff. And I just want to discuss then some things about that. First off, as a Christian, we're told to love animals. We're told to respect them, not torture them, not... Adam named the animals. God created all the animals. And I'll go through evolution and creation and stuff in another video as well. I can do more. But God created the animals. And he let us name them, though. He let us name them. And he created them for us. So we do see the joy in them. And what's interesting this is going on digression. But when Noah and the ark lands, God says, now I'm putting the fear of animals, or the fear of man, into all the animals. And you notice that 99.9% of animals actually fear us. They don't hunt us. They don't hunt us naturally. They don't go after it. They actually separate themselves from us. It's kind of interesting. And you see that all in pretty much all animals. I mean, there's a fallen world, and we are subjugated to pain and suffering even through the animals and through mosquitoes and stuff like that. But the fear of animals, like especially the ones that are more intelligent and can be aware, they tend to fear us. They tend to avoid us if they can. But he still created animals for us. But anyway, I don't even know why I went on with that. I want to talk about some stuff that he says, Ricky, about his atheism, just because I've heard before. And he said, like for instance, there's no evidence. He doesn't see any evidence for God. Well, I get that a lot from atheists, that they want evidence. Well, the first thing is, why do you get to choose what the evidence is? Why are you putting yourself up above God? Why are you now judge, jury, and executioner? Who said you get to be the judge and jury of the evidence I provide, or the evidence the Bible provides? The Bible is the number one book of all time in Western, number one book, period, of printing, of smuggling, of burnt, of quoted, of read, of translations in the world, of given away, sold, bought and sold. It's the number one book, period. If there was a God, wouldn't he say, I'm going to have the number one book, period, in the whole world? And the Bible is the number one book, period. I mean, period. It's the number one book. Which translation? Don't look. There's history behind all that. I took an excruciating half an afternoon to figure that all out. So there's a history to all that, and I can go to another video. But the Bible, okay, for you English people, the ESV or King James version. Okay, if you want to go collegiate, ESV for elementary, King James version for collegiate. Okay, if you want to read it. Americans, NASB, ESV is fine too, and King James Version. And then there's others too that are just fine. I'm reading another one here. I'm reading this one right now. It's a study Bible. And it's the Henry Morris Study Bible. Oh, it's the King James Version. Anyway, so what I want to get, he says he wants evidence. He hasn't seen evidence. Again, why do you get to choose the evidence? I will give you this one piece of evidence, okay? The Bible said, and then I'm going to give you some evidence right now for why the Bible is true, and thusly God is true or real. I'm going to give you this piece of evidence, and I would say you don't get to decide whether that's good evidence or not. I'm going to give it to you anyway, but you don't get to decide if that's good evidence or not, or proof. But I'm going to do it anyway, and you're going to just have to deny it. You're going to have to deny this because you have to as an atheist. Okay, so here it is. Life can only come from life. Boom, done. There's your evidence. The Bible states, after creation week, after the supernatural event, like the Big Bang, there's a supernatural event in the Bible. It accepts that. Then it says, life can only come from life. That's a rule. It's set out in nature. That is all we have ever seen. Now, you atheists and evolutionists and all the other pagan religions out there claim, either they copy the Bible or they claim otherwise, evolution. Life can come from non-life. Life can come from non-life. That's what evolutionists say. Never been done. Never seen it. Never. 10,000 laboratories, 100,000 scientists, not even been able to do it. Never been able to do it. Never, never, never. Thusly, ergo, therefore, the Bible's true, evolution is false. Done. But you won't accept that. It's like we're bringing you the evidence. It's so clear. Life can only come from life. Now, the Bible, if the Hebrew high priests manipulating people in the past claim that as a truth claim, it's a truth claim. How would they know about viruses and bacteria and creatures deep in the ocean? How would they know that those did not come from the mud and the salts and the whatever in the dark and those volcanic underwater volcanoes and all that? How would they not know that? You claim you want evidence, and then we give you evidence, and the Bible has all the evidence you need in it. It's a really, well, this is a study Bible, but I guess if without the study stuff, it would be this big. It's not a pamphlet. The Bible is a claim of God's word telling you everything, and it makes truth claims, and it makes a whole bunch of truth claims, and you don't want them. You will not, you'll just, since I want the evidence I want, I want, I am not going to accept whatever evidence you give me. You're not God. Why do you get to decide what the evidence is? I just told you the evidence. Life can only come from life. And that's just one of many. And why do I need to go any further? The evolution, you say life can come from non-life. You've never, ever, 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 ever done that. Or seen it. I don't know what else. I can lead you to the water. I cannot make you drink, right? And the Bible says that too, by the way. So concerning Christians are good and bad, atheists are good and bad, blah blah blah. Everyone's good and bad. So what difference does it matter? The Bible. We Christians have this claim: we're all bad. We're all bad. We try to be good, but we're all bad. So we kind of already are there. We're already there. You atheists can say, "Oh, I'm good. You guys tend to weigh the good and bad, right? Because I know you've done some bad things, Ricky or atheist or whoever. I know you've done some bad things in your life, but you're saying that your good outweighs that. So when you go before the perfect judge and he claims you are a murderer, you're not a murderer. Well, you've hated people. That's one level of murder. But you've allowed the unborn to be murdered all around you in the city, in your villages, in your cities all around you. You've allowed the unborn, the children to be murdered, okay? I'm going there. I'm going there. So you're a murderer. So, yeah, but you've done some good stuff too. That's not how it works. We're all bad. We're all bad. None of us deserve to go before a perfect judge and get into heaven or the perfect place or where, Valhalla, Nirvana, wherever. None of us do. That's what the Christianity claims. None of us get to go there unless someone takes our punishment for us. Okay? So, which is Jesus Christ. Anyway, so there's that. We know we're all bad. And we're not going to make any excuses for it. And we're not going to outweigh the good with the bad. We know we're bad. All of us, all atheists, all Christians are bad. We're all sinners. So why are you saying we're hypocrites when we're already saying we're all bad? You atheists set up a false premise to then judge us. Stop doing that. But you have to do that. And look, God says you have to do that. God says you're a fool. Sorry, I do respect you guys, like I really do. Anyway, I'm doing these videos because of my love for God, but also because maybe there's some of you will learn. And really, I can't convert you guys. I can't convert atheists. I can't do it. I can't change your mind. Only God can do that. But this is kind of to help me really, but to help other like Christians or someone who's seeking God to understand like this world that we're in and how atheists talk and all that. So, So another thing you said, you said a bunch of things. Let me pause and go through, and then I'll come back. Okay, so another thing you say is like you see the beauty in things, and you don't need God to see the beauty in things, in trees and mountains and all that. Well, it's in the Bible, God gives us this. He created us in His image. So He created us in His image, in His psyche, in His personality, in His belief. We want to be creative. We want to sing. We want to create things. We want to create stories. And He created us in His image. He also created the universe. He didn't create the universe for us, by the way. He created Earth for us. The universe, as you can tell, just by if you want to go fly out there, you're not going to do well. He created the universe for His glory. So His glory. So and creation is His glory as well. So that means that we can appreciate His glory. We can appreciate things in beauty and joy and love and music. And He is into music, by the way. He created glory. So when you say, I can appreciate the beauty of things, well, God has given you that concept. You don't see animals, pets and dogs and cats appreciating music or the beauty around them. I mean, they appreciate affection and love and attention, but you don't see them staring in awe at the beautiful stuff that's all around them. You don't see them creating artwork. You know what I mean? We do that, and God gave us that. He created us in His image. He created the animals for us, but He created us in His image, and He gave the animals the spirit of life. So they do have the spirit of life in them. They don't have souls the way we have souls, but that's okay. God created them for us, and we'll be with them all the time. We will be with them in heaven as well. Animals. So, and they're going to be really super nice in heaven. The lion and the lamb are going to chill out together and hang out with us. Okay. So there's that. Let me look at another one and respond. Okay. Some good points. So he says that, to get into heaven, you got to do certain things for, and then that men wrote these things with an agenda. Okay. So I have some other videos on that, but to get into heaven, you got to do these things. That's paganism. That's Islam. That's atheism. That's all the religions out there. And I do another video on this. Christianity, no. Nope. Nowhere in there does it say what requirements are to get into heaven. We're saved by the grace of God. That's what it is. We're chosen by God to be saved. He knows us. And also about him saying that men wrote the Bible for their own agendas. Think about the 10 Commandments. Who does it give power to? If the 10 Commandments says you cannot murder, you cannot steal, you cannot take someone's property, coveting, you have to honor the father or the mother, you have to do not commit adultery. What king or powerful person would want to... Remember, the 10 Commandments is for everyone, the king to the peasant. What king wants to be constrained by can't murder, can't take someone's property? Come on, Ricky Gervais, the taking someone's property. The king cannot take your comedy, your jokes, your wealth, your trophies, your awards. He can't take them from you. Okay, that's what this commandment is about. And all the other commandments and the Sabbath. You get a day off. You get to rest, and the king cannot force you to work or do things for him or worship him on that day. You get a rest. What in the Bible gives kings or priests power over you? Because the priests in the Bible are fools. The way they're represented in the Bible is they're idiots and fools, and they preach out loud and show off. And the kings in the Bible are failures, complete failures. The Bible is a rebellion against all this power and all these men of power. And the prophets who kind of written most of the books, they're all like persecuted, and they have no power, and they're get dejected and rejected and flee. Who does this power? Who gives the power? I understand that kings and popes and kind of use the Bible for their own power grabs, As long as you don't read the Bible, as long as you don't read it, then they'll use it for their religion. Absolutely. And also, you're kind of mixing like Christianity, I suppose, or whatever, with other religions like Islam, and you can't. I'm sorry, but Islam and paganism and atheism all have the same works. Okay, do what I say to get into heaven. Do this and to get into heaven. Well, Christianity is not like that at all. I'm not going to go into. Yeah. Well, the real answer is you can't do anything. God's going to choose you, and if you don't like that, then it's obvious He's not going to choose you then. So that's my response to that. Christianity's no. There's no. No. The Ten Commandments basically is saying that you're going to fail and go to hell no matter what because you're all sinners. That's all that the Ten Commandments is. You're all going to hell. You're all going to sinners. Now Judaism does have if we just break bread and animal sacrifices will be forgiven by God and by the priests, and then we'll go to heaven or something. It kind of says that, but then when it gets to Christ, it says nope. That's you guys are not. Yes, before Christ, everyone will be judged that way, and it's going to be harsh. But after Christ, nope. Now it's the Christian way, which is you can't save yourself no matter what you do. Just only through Jesus can you be saved. I'm having fun here. Okay, what else? Let me watch a little more. Okay, in this bit, he says if you're born in America, be a Christian. If you're born in India, be a Hindu. So it's just really where location. Well, that's another atheist lame thing because Christianity started in Israel. So that right there, Christianity isn't even an American religion. It's not a European religion. It's a Middle Eastern religion. And there's like 100 million Chinese that are Christian. And they're persecuted. And what the heck? There's no Christianity there. Christianity there's no race or creed or sex. Everyone can be a Christian. We're all equal under God. So this whole thing of it depends on where you're born. No, the Christian faith is everywhere. Everyone has access to the Bible and to learning. Now, that doesn't mean they're free to do it. In most atheist, Islamic, and Hindu places, Christianity is persecuted. Correct? What atheist nation where atheists rule, China, North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela now, where do you have the freedom to be a Christian? To openly preach and spread the gospel? Only in these Christian Westernish worlds. Now, some of these Western countries are becoming atheists, and we can see Christians are losing their freedoms. But really, think about it. Your freedoms are based on what nations you're in, and what nations are you in? What is the overriding, statistically speaking, and historically influenced ideology that they follow? Well, it's Christianity. It's Christianity. It's Christianity. It's Christianity. It's Christianity. I don't know what else to tell you. It's Christianity. In all Western nations, in England, you guys are enjoying the freedoms that you have, the individual rights that you have, because it has a Christian influence. Granted, atheism is rising in power, paganism, whatever you want to call it. But it's Christianity. I can give you the evidence, but that doesn't mean you believe it because you want to be above God and decide what the evidence is. Okay. By the way, I still respect you guys. Okay, so in this one, and I really like Ricky Gervais, and what he says here is that if you have your belief in religion, that's totally fine, blah, blah, blah. But then if you throw him off a homosexual off the roof, well, Christians don't do that, right? Islam does that. In atheist states do that, I believe. And it's not just homosexuals that are getting thrown off roofs. It's Christians that are getting thrown off roofs. It's in China, if you want to have more than one child, you're getting butchered. So, in a Christian world, we are going to have certain moral standards that we have to create into laws. We just are. And obviously they're getting more loosey-goosey now. So there's more divorce rates, there's more promiscuity, there's sexually transmitted diseases are now kind of legal and I feel like they're almost encouraged sexually, with the policies that are being presented. But anyway, that's just, I don't appreciate that when you kind of mix in different religions, and because Christianity itself, you cannot force anyone to convert. You cannot force anyone to believe in Jesus Christ. In Islam, you can, though. In Islam, you can force them to. We see it all the time. But in Christianity, you cannot. And then if you do, you're not a Christian. Now, in Islam, if you force convert, you can. It says you can't, and then it says you can. So it's like, whoa. It says it, the Quran, in two different ways. And, like a forked tongue. But anyway, let's see what else. I just want to say one last thing. I just did this little bit here with this few minutes and then watched a bit of it right in there where you can see around 35, 38 minutes. Really good stuff, though. I really appreciate these guys and what they're talking about. One other thing I just want to say about God. God created... think about this. In 1500 BC, when this was written down, time, space, and matter. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning time, God created the heavens, space, and the earth. Matter. Time, space, and matter. So the very first line of the Bible is factually, metaphysically, incredibly accurate. How did these priests, these Jews, these sheep herders, whatever, because that's where they came from, sheep herders, how did they understand the concept of a God outside of the reality? How did they even come up with that? And the three components, time, space, and matter, are essential. You cannot have that trinity. You cannot have one of them without the other two. You can't have a rock unless there's a space and when it is. You can't have a rock without a space that it's in and the time that it's in. How did they understand that God is outside of that? And so when we say, oh, God did it, well, what else can we say? You and I can't go outside of time, outside of space of the Bible to then explain things that are like DNA or how things are created. I mean, we can't explain it. We cannot explain during that supernatural week of creation. He created everything. He created time, space, and matter. And then it's really cool is that the next several lines of creation are all about energy, gravity, awareness, logic. It's just incredible. How did sheep herders know this? How did they? Because no other religion has this. All other religions have like the Greeks, earth, wind, and fire, or whatever, the elements. And then the Hindus have their elephant gods and carrying stuff and stars and stuff. They're all inside of time, space, and matter. All of their creation concepts and all of their big floods and stuff. But the Bible says nope. God is outside of it. He's not in outer space. He's outside of time, space, and matter. So, and when we say, well, God did it, well, first off, there's a growing creation science is huge now. It's exploding now. You can't stop it. It's about 50 years old. It's not even that old. Evolution is actually older, 200 years. Because we thought you guys were telling the truth for many hundreds of years or decades. We really thought that you guys in science were telling the truth about evolution, and you're not. Well, the evolutionists are not. I can go to another video. But creation science is a response to the incredible amount of lies of evolution and its evolving theory. So creation science is the Bible written down 1500 BC, but obviously historically further than that. 1500 BC, so that's it. It's steadfast in creation, and what we're finding is the evidence for that. Life can only create from life. I don't even go in the other ones. Life can only be created by life. That is true today as it was in 1500 BC for every living thing on this planet. I'm giving you evidence, Ricky Russell, that the Bible's true. You don't accept it because you believe you're above God. You're the God. And that's exactly what the serpent told Eve. Don't believe in God's word. You can be your own God and pick the evidence that you want. And you don't believe in this evidence. And that's okay. Appreciate you guys. I think you're pretty cool.